Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, I am your boy, Stevie Jobber.
I'm your boy, Dangerous Dude.
And welcome back to the Dangerous Jobbers podcast. Put on wrestling over one podcast at a time.
Yes, sir.
And welcome to back prediction week. As we record this in the city of Philadelphia, AEW is having Dynasty, where they have a pretty legitimate match card. I say that because I'm actually invested, and if you're a regular AEW fan, take that however you want to take that. I would take it as a compliment. I'm actually invested in the card, so I think we start with the dynasty predictions, and then I actually have some outside wrestling news for us as I watched MLW Battle Riot earlier. And then we hit the big boys.
hmm
So let's get rolling. Right into the dynasty card. I would get into the 0 hour, but I'm not that invested.
Yeah, same.
So no. Um, but I'll jump around. I'll jump around the main card. Chris Jericho and Bandito. Early predictions. Duke, who you got?
I'm going with the Nueve on this. That's what they're calling him now. I guess he's not the Ocho no more.
Oh,
So,
right,
uh,
yeah.
so I'm gonna go with Chris Jericho.
I'm gonna go Chris Jericho too. I will say I had a side theory on this. Why isn't this something we booked for uh a big spot for the bounty hunter, Brian Keith?
I don't know.
Like Bandito, Brian Keith. There's money in the gimmicks themselves. We should be building this up for that. But
hmm
anyway, Chris Jericho. Uh Tag teams. The Hurt Syndicate. We
hmm
hurt people. We hurt people. There's nothing like that song. Uh, versus Big Bill and Brian Keith. So this is where they find their spot on the card, up against the Hurt Business. Gonna
hmm
go with the Learning Tree, or
Nah, we're gonna go with the Syndicate on this one.
yeah, not a chance, not
Not
a
at all.
chance. Will Ospreay versus Kevin Knight for the Owen Hart tournament. Was it the semifinals, quarterfinal,
I mean, it's got to be Osprey, right?
without question.
Okay.
Uh, Shout out to Kevin Knight. I hope you can still be Kevin Knight in AEW. You know, sometimes that transition is really hard for people. They say
hmm
the transition for NXT people to main roster is hard, but the transition from indie darling to indie darling starting in AEW is a tough transition. And not everybody makes it on the main roster, but we don't talk about it. Moving on. Garcia versus Adam Cole TNT Championship. I believe this is their third time running it back.
Um, Look, see, part of me wants to say Garcia, but then it's Adam Cole that we're talking about here. So
Baby.
I would be, baby, I would be remiss if I didn't say Adam Cole. I wouldn't be able to live with myself if I picked Garcia. So I'm going Adam Cole.
Weird place about this. I don't see this is so weird. You know what I'm saying this. But I'm shooting from the hip. I don't feel like Adam Cole has really done anything to deserve this. But
It's Adam
I
Cole, though.
what I fear that if he doesn't win, there's nowhere else to go. This is like the ground floor of rebuilding Adam Cole,
hmm
you know, uh, fresh from whatever tied him back to being out with the boys. Take that however you want it. He looks a little more buff. You know what I'm saying? It's I don't know. We're just starting to get back to what we remember Adam Cole to be.
hmm
So if he doesn't win, it feel like it puts him in a hole. So I have to go Adam. Um, Quarterfinal. We have Kyle Fletcher and Mark Briscoe. Where you going?
Mm, love me some Kyle Fletcher, but I'm gonna take Briscoe on this one.
You know, man, I'm at odds. I think it's Fletcher. I think it's Fletcher. I think Mark Briscoe. Um, it's tough. It's tough. It's tough.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, it's tough. No, I'm thinking about it in real time because you got to remember Briscoe's, former ROH World Champ. Or is he still ROH World Champ? He's not ROH World Champion anymore.
I don't believe.
Um. Anyway, though you got Mark Briscoe, but you have an emerging Kyle Fletcher, like a really, he's coming out with the chains now. He's giving me like Seth Rollins with the authority, but also like The Rock with the $50 million jacket. Like, you know what
Mm-hmm.
I mean? Like he's
Yeah, like
very
he's not. It's not a knock on him that it's not like saying it in a bad way that Briscoe's gonna win. It's just
mhm,
it's I'm picking out of bias for this match, and the bias in me is more for Briscoe.
I understand it. Who are you biased to in this one? Mercedes Monet versus Julia Hart in the Owen Hart women's tournament quarterfinal.
See, now I'm biased for Julia Hart here, but Mercedes Monet, Tony loves the big names,
Mm,
whether it's worth it, whether they're worth the big name or not is an entirely different question. But with that being said, we're gonna sorry, Julia, love you, but we're gonna go Mercedes on this one.
I agree with you, and I don't like the big picture of this.
Neither do I.
It better be good. It better be good. Because I'm seeing the bigger picture of this, the run
Mm-hmm.
that they have been saying Mercedes Monet has been on, and what winning the Owen Hart women's tournament is, giving you a straight shot at the world champion. Tony Storm on the run she's been on, Mercedes Monet on the run she's been on, avoiding the title this entire time. Can't it's Monet, as they would say. I just would hope that I don't know. I don't know. I have reservations, but we'll discuss it if it gets that far.
Mm-hmm.
We'll discuss it if it gets that far. The Death Riders versus Rated FTR for what feels like the final time, as FTR is showing a lot of cracks between Cash and Dax.
Now, bias in me, FTR,
Yeah.
but I honestly want to see what the Death Riders do. I want to see more of I want to see more of the Death Riders like being showcased in a better environment. Not environment.
Hmm.
Environment's not the right word. A better light, I guess.
Hmm.
And I feel like we've seen a lot of FTR already, rated FTR for that matter. So I'm gonna go Death Riders on this one.
I like Death Riders. Let's put the nail in the coffin. Let's end this.
Basically,
If FTR is going to go their separate ways,
this would be the time.
what a great power move for the Death Riders to end FTR.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and what does it do for Edge? Rids him of this entire issue so that he can find something more interesting, I guess. Because
Basically,
if they're not going to let you be champ, dude, you gotta find something else.
yeah.
Kenny's still out there, Jericho's still out there, Osprey's still out there. You got stuff to move on to. Um, that puts us at what I feel like is the big three. Uh, a newly, I don't want to say reborn, but reimagined Ricochet uh, against Speedball Mike Bailey, Rookie of the Year. You know, indie super kid.
Hmm.
That sounds that sounds like a negative, but I promise you it's not. And Kenny Omega for the IT championship. Um, who do we have here? Kenny, Ricochet, Speedball. Is this a chance for an underdog to win? Is this validation for Ricochet, or is this just something to get Kenny Omega by?
Um, Ricochet, as crazy as it sounds, as crazy as it sounds, and as odd as it may seem, as much crap as I've talked on him in AEW, I want Ricochet to pull this one out.
Wants Ricochet to pull it out. Okay. Okay.
So I said it might be crazy, but I kind of want Ricochet to pull this off.
Okay. I'm gonna go Kenny, but wouldn't it be cool if Ricochet won
Like just
and cheated to win?
yeah, like
Like
that's what
fell
I
into
mean.
it. Like
Yeah,
by total like it'd be funny if he won by no doing of his own.
exactly. Like do some out of left field type stuff to get this W.
Like it'd be funny if he was about to get the one wing angel. You know, if he got the one winged angel. And as Kenny was gonna you get the pinfall, speedball, hit his move. I forget what they call it, but that that back flipping
Hmm.
double shin to the back off the top, but you know what it's called. It's hard to describe. He's amazing. He hits that on Kenny and but like falls out of the ring, and Ricochet rolls over on the Kenny as
Hmm.
he sells the move and like freaking wins the belt just by no fault of his own. It'd be the
Yeah.
most hilarious thing in the world. Um, Endgame. We talking the biggest name in AEW today. Okay, stay with me. The face of the franchise at this point, really. Um, Tony Storm versus Megan Bain. Who you got?
Only one name.
Hmm.
There's only one name, and that name is timeless. You gotta go Tony Storm here, man. Got to.
And she's the best thing going.
Yeah.
She's the best thing going. Got to go Tony Storm. Got to go Tony Storm. I'm only worried about Tony Storm if the Owen Hart Women's Tournament turns out in the worst case scenario.
Yeah, that's and yeah, yeah.
But Tony Storm for sure. And that leads us to the main event. Um, John Moxley, Swerve Strickland, AEW Championship. The concept being John Moxley believes that Swerve is the future of the company, but he can't get it done. I like Moxley's again, like I said, I like the concept of Moxley becoming world champion and what it means and what he's trying to get out of the roster. He literally is trying to be um what do they call it? The tide that raises all the ships.
Hmm.
Um
He's
I don't know.
being he's being 2000s Triple H right now.
Yeah, yeah. He's really stamping it and being like head bad guy to bring everyone else's up. Um Swerve Strickland, AEW Dynasty, main event. Does Swerve become champion again? Or I'll put it in a bigger picture. If not Swerve, right? Let's tagline it. If not Swerve, where do we go? If it is it Swerve now, and if not Swerve, who?
I'm thinking Swerve, but this is going to be one of those classic matches for AEW. It has to be because the
Hmm.
type of run that Mox has been on has been arguably the best run of his career with AEW. It's arguably been AEW's best run for a
Hmm.
champion. I mean, I know you got your other people, you got your Joes, you got Swerve when he was the champ and elevating everything. Mox, this run by Mox is up there, given everything he's done while the champion this time around. And if he was to win, not going to be mad about it. Wouldn't be mad, but I feel like if there was a time to give it to somebody
Hmm.
to let them steer the ship for a little while,
Hmm.
it would be Swerve, and it would be now. So I'm for that reason, I'm going to say Swerve, with a caveat that if Mox wins, I'm still not going to be upset.
Okay. Um, I will say I'll validate you and everything you said. Um, I love the run that Mox has been on
Mm-hmm.
because I enjoy the concept. It is in a way like AEW fans, the tribal fans that are out there
Mm-hmm.
like to put the storytelling in WWE down a lot. But what Mox is doing essentially is some how late are we?
We got about 18.
Oh, okay. He's he's really done some Marvel stuff. Like he came in, he took out not Captain, yeah, Captain America basically.
Mm-hmm.
He took Captain America's head off and like punched a hole in the universe and was like, I'm here to make sure everyone steps it up and this place becomes what it's supposed to be because it's garbage right now. It's a joke
Yeah.
and I'm sick of it. And everyone that should be pushing themselves to their fullest potential is going to start doing it, or you're never going to see this championship again
Mm-hmm.
because he stopped showing it on TV. And he's never come across somebody and felt a distaste for him. Everyone has stepped up to him. He's been like, you could be the guy, but I'm not just going to hand it to you. You're going to have to beat me for it.
Mm-hmm.
He like did what Roman Reigns did, like faster.
Yeah.
Essentially,
Basically.
essentially plummeted them. He pulled a DC universe. Um, and Swerve is our guy. So I have to go Swerve,
Mm-hmm.
but I do love everything that Moxley's done.
Yeah.
So if he does win, I won't be upset. So just to
Mm-hmm.
give validation to everything. Um, but yeah, those are our predictions. Tell us how you feel. Leave it in the comments. I won't do the cheap plug now. It's still early. I'll give you a
Mm-hmm.
break. I'll let it wait. Moving on. I do have MLW news. Uh,
As he rocks the MLW hat.
per the MLW hat, Battle Riot has also happened this weekend. It happened ahead of Dynasty tonight,
Mm-hmm.
and I was able to watch it. And I don't have any big points. I just have like a quick summary of the Battle Riot, what it was this year, why that's important, who won and how, and we'll discuss and then we'll move on. Um, because I wasn't super intrigued by all of the matches, I'll say that, and I moved past it. It is what it is. I was there for Battle Riot. Um, couple points. This year it was important because every year they have Battle Riot, which is essentially their Royal Rumble,
Mm-hmm.
but you can also get pinned and there's no rules. You can fight on the outside after you've been eliminated. That was a big concept this year. But it is also important because Riddle is putting his title on the line. So whoever wins Battle Riot becomes MLW World Champion. And MLW MLW made it a point to say that Riddle had already gotten busted ribs, so he was going in not 100%.
Yeah, he was going in wounded.
Um, so some quick points, notable names: Chris Adonis, formerly Chris Masters, uh, Saint Laurent, who's like their, how do I say this? Not Jim Cornette. Their He's their big manager guy. Like,
He's like their commissioner.
eh, nah, I'm trying to think of like a very cheap manager. I don't
Mm,
know. He's
okay.
like the guy that really wants to be a booker that like stinks and is like fat and distasteful. Um, he had put his money on Dijak and Corbin, who were also in the Rumble this year. Those were his two big guys that he bet the money on to win him the MLW championship. RVD was in it. Paul London was in it. Uh, I'm trying to think who out of the usual was in the match. Um, I don't know. There was more. Uh,
Hmm.
uh, the actor Paul Walter Hauser. Um, he was in it. Uh,
Love that guy.
it was great. It was great. Kane was in it. Like it was cool. People fought on the outside. It was bloody. Top rope tables. Very good. Go see it for yourself. Long story short, it gets down to Riddle and RVD.
Hmm.
Go figure. Riddle wins the belt. Um, so Riddle retains, is the only person to win it back to back, and this time for the world championship against RVD, which I will say, considering MLW as a legitimate, having a legitimate world heavyweight championship
Hmm.
now, that's like a great moment of validation for Riddle in a certain perspective.
Yeah.
But just to bring that to you guys, it was good. Go see it. It's on YouTube for free. And even if you don't know much about who was in it, there's names you do know from other places.
Yeah.
And pretty dope event, regardless of who won or how you feel about Riddle. It was just a cool match.
Hmm.
Any quick thoughts on that before we move on?
I like some of the names they brought in. Chris Adonis, Paul Walter Hauser. I love that guy.
Mm,
RVD, Paul London, those guys. Pretty dope.
yeah, yeah, it wasn't bad. It wasn't a bad. And they kept a good core of their like factions. It helped that they were made up of factions because
Hmm.
they had like two beefs going on, which kind of disqualified a majority of people
Yeah.
because there was two faction beefs happening at the same time. That's how they were able
Okay.
to have the hardcore and the match at the same time. Because some people are eliminated fighting on the outside, and some people are on the inside still beefing with the people on the outside.
Hmm.
It makes sense. Um, Moving on to where the big boys play. We lose a match at WrestleMania.
Yeah.
There is no more KO and Randy. Unfortunately, um, Kevin Owens suffered a neck injury and will have to have surgery. Um, we talked about it, thought it was a work at first, and then slowly came to the realization that, oh snap, we're losing Kevin Owens.
Yeah,
Um,
man. That's
what
a
was the
hurt
line that
piece.
got you?
I don't think so much it was a line that got me. I think what got me was the sequence of how it happened. Like
Mm,
first when he came out and then he's wearing the pink jacket. I'm like, oh, he's gonna pull a Mark Henry. Look at him.
mm,
He's pulling that Mark Henry move. And it was because of the pink jacket. And then we make it to Randy coming out, but he's already out of the ring, and it's like, oh, he's gonna come back and do something.
mm,
Never came back and did anything. And then it was the you don't have a match at WrestleMania line that was like,
mm.
yeah, I think we might not this might be legit.
Let me
And
legit.
then seeing the interviews he did afterwards, it's like, oh wait, yeah, this is legit. So it sucks in that aspect because you know that that match was probably going to be one of the matches to steal the show.
Yeah, I think that was definitely going to be their objective. Man, it. I thought it was a work all the way up until he said he's really upset he's not going to be able to be in the ring with Randy Orton at WrestleMania. And I was like, oh, that's not character. I was like, oh, that's not character. That's legit. He means that. So
Yeah.
that one was like, oh man, we're like losing Kevin Owens at WrestleMania for like the last, I don't know, however many years he's been involved in one of the biggest matches of WrestleMania every
Hmm.
year for the last few years. So hurt
And
piece.
and the fact that it's going to be he doesn't know when he's coming back. Like there's rumors that it's 2 to 5 years, 1 to 2 years, this, that, and the other. And it's like, damn, that's a long time. And
Mm-hmm.
the fact that this didn't happen in a crazy match, the fact that it just happened in a regular, like just a regular one-on-one match. He didn't say which match it was in, but he did
Yeah,
say that it was a match that had no hardcore spots. It was just a regular run-of-the-mill match. So that's kind of the hurt piece for me too.
it's a shame, man. It's a shame, man, to lose somebody like Kevin. And this late in his career, when like if that's 2, 3 years, like his next run might be his last run. Like we don't know, you know,
Yeah.
um, because we don't know where he's going to be at after all that time. We don't know where
Hmm.
the landscape is going to be at. Who took what spot and all that time? Like
And then not only that, it puts a big question mark on Randy too. Like, what's Randy gonna do at this Mania?
we got to find out what Randy's going to do. I think you had a good theory um, about what
About
the
it
end of that
being,
segment leads to, and it
yeah.
possibly
So,
being Nick.
I would think that the way I described it was, or the way I thought of it was that time the Shield came back at TLC
Mm.
and Roman got sick.
Mm-hmm.
So what did they do? They called in the manager from the bullpen that everybody wanted to see. They brought in Kurt Angle and had Kurt Angle be the Shield. So I think they're gonna somewhat go that route where, all right, the big name isn't here. What can we do? How can we save it? What have people been saying about Nick Aldis since he came to WWE? They want to see Nick Aldis in a match.
Mm-hmm.
Nick Aldis has made it clear that he wants to be in a match when he first came in. Ideally, who's a better person for Nick Aldis to be in a ring with from a style standpoint than Randy Orton? Both built the same, both somewhat moved the same. Nick Aldis still has that ability.
Mm-hmm.
I don't see it as a bad thing that Nick Aldis takes this spot. Now, could somebody else take it? Absolutely. But given the situation and the sequence of events, if we don't get Kevin and Randy, Nick Aldis is not a bad consolation prize.
How many more weeks we got?
2.
2 weeks.
We have 2 weeks until Mania.
So we got this week, and then next week is the go home.
Yeah, it's because today's the 2 weeks. Yeah, 2 weeks. The 19th and the 20th are Mania.
Yeah, I wouldn't be
So
mad about. I wouldn't be mad about a story thread on SmackDown because it's a 3 hour show, man. I wouldn't be
or
mad about. I wouldn't be mad about a story thread for next SmackDown to be Nick trying to find someone all night, and then at the end of the night, calling Randy out and being like, "Randy, I gave you a list of names. I looked around. I did my best, but Randy, you know who's available. You pick whoever you want.
mhm,
Who do you want at WrestleMania? I'm giving you free range." And he goes, "I want you."
mm, not mad at that.
And we
I,
could do a
I've not.
story thread of like Randy checking in throughout the night, pressuring Nick, pressuring Nick,
Hmm.
pressuring Nick, and getting more frustrated all night, and Nick not coming up with a name.
Hmm.
And then He's like, you know what? I want you.
Yeah, they could pull that off. I mean, but now as you were talking, another idea kind of just popped into my mind. What if, because they did, this is another way to sneak a quick nugget in there. They dropped a promo package of another debuting superstar, and then they didn't really show anything.
Oh,
What if Nick Aldis says he got somebody for him at WrestleMania? And just like Seth, when they said you'll find out who your opponent is at WrestleMania,
what a way to debut.
what a way to come back. What a way to
Uh,
come back. I mean, what
you a fire writer on the low.
I mean, we just fade the black a little bit.
Some good creative right there. That is some good creative.
Not mad at either. Again,
Great
whichever
pop.
whichever one happens, great. I'm here for either one. But you got, in my opinion, you got two great things you could do. It's just a matter of which one you want to execute.
Hey man, I want that. I want that because they've been. You think about it, like okay, promo package, Penta debut, promo package for weeks, Phoenix debuts. How do we stop the routine of promo package? This person debuts on the show.
Hmm.
Have him be the opponent for Randy Orton. That way, you get that same big pop that they got at the regular show at WrestleMania against Randy Orton. What a premier way to debut. That's like that's like the Cody rollout. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
and do it this. You can just not even say who the thing is, who the opponent is. When it's his time to come out, play the promo package the same way you've been playing it without showing anything.
Mm-hmm.
But then at the end of that promo package, it lights up like with the logo.
There
And
you go.
then that same song hits, comes up from the ground the same way he used to come up from the ground. Like it's good,
Goosebumps.
man. It's good.
Goosebumps. Uh, I
Because I would
love
pop
that.
if I heard his WWE theme again.
Man, I lose my mind.
Da, da,
I
da,
lose my
da, da.
mind, man.
All right, but yeah.
Yeah, that's enough digressing. Let's move on. Um, so I have to talk about this. It is weighing on my wrestling heart. The promo between Charlotte and Tiffany on Friday. Um, I thought it was horrible. I thought it was horrible. Can I just say it first,
Okay.
like I they went off script, very apparent.
Yes.
This guy really like I had to pause, okay? I had to take a second to really in real time process my emotions because they the heat, the genuine like hatred that
Yeah.
that crowd had for Charlotte, it 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 broke me in real time. It was like,
It was very
man,
apparent.
y'all don't want her at all. Like y'all don't want her to win. Y'all don't want her to talk. Y'all don't want her to be here. Like, and as if she wasn't going through enough. Man, Sam Roberts had made a comment early on about Charlotte coming back, saying, she's actually been through so much to get back here, but we don't know that.
Hmm.
Like the common fan does not know that. She hasn't made it known. It hasn't been,
Yeah.
all over the place, the ups and downs she had to go through to get here.
Which is very different than years previous when she's had to come back. Everything was out in the open and out there for people to see. She actually kept this time around, kept everything close to the chest.
And somehow I feel like that hurt her. Like it's crazy because I feel like they saw it as we used to see John Cena winning too much, always, always around to
Hmm.
take the spot from somebody else or whatever it may have been. And like there was an air that it could have been just, the typical Charlotte stuff, but it's starting to like bubble over.
Yeah,
Not even starting to, it like erupted on Friday because at first she couldn't get a word in, and then they went off script, and then it got worse
yeah.
because not only were you fighting to get a word, now you're fighting to get a rebuttal in real time about stuff that sounds like it could really hurt your feelings
Hmm.
in a position where the crowd is already kind of hurting your feelings and flustering you clearly. And I feel like as somebody that's given so much to the game, it's got to be emotional
Yeah, it's got a sting.
one day to just be like, damn, they don't even want to hear me talk no more. Like they don't like me. You know what I mean? At least they used to like that I was evil before.
Hmm.
Like now I feel like you don't even like you won't let me talk. Like
Yeah,
it's crazy.
it was definitely an awkward sequence from just from like that point all the way to the end. And then when you get to the end and you start to see the cringiness even more, and then the remarks that don't even feel like real remarks, they just feel like a poke with a knife. Like even Wade Barrett looked like he wanted to step in at a certain point and break it up and then stops himself.
Mm-hmm.
Especially in that 0-3 comment. That's when you see him move like, all right, maybe I gotta step in, and then
Mm.
all right, let me just
And
stand back.
the way Tiffany dipped out of the ring,
Like
and
that
then
that's how you knew
even
she meant that
and
comment.
then
She
the
didn't
Kaiser comment that was
look.
like it was so bad.
There's a difference between knowing that you're gonna make those comments and they're scripted or they look like they're scripted, and then when you say something that you know, okay, that wasn't where you were supposed to go. It looked like that's where she wasn't supposed to go, based on how she dipped out of there.
I also thought to myself though, like, was this part of the rollout? Like, because we hadn't known anything about her character that she said publicly that anyone could actually use until that interview. So it's
Yeah,
all Tiffany really had to go off. So maybe a part of it was on script, but like I don't know, man.
I, I
I
think the
just
way
think
they
it was,
cut everything, the way they cut everything, I don't think that was supposed to happen the way it happened.
and it just makes it worse that they wouldn't let her talk. Like she couldn't even
Mm-hmm.
she didn't even have the confidence to, how do I say this? She didn't have the confidence to be able to think on her feet and think whatever she said was gonna work
Mm-hmm.
because she wasn't even able to talk up to that point.
Yeah,
So now I gotta think of a rebuttal while keeping this dumb smile on my face and acting like I'm above it all. And I go to say the rebuttal and y'all won't let me get it off.
mm-hmm.
And I'm already not fully confident. You know what I'm saying? Like it was tough. And then when she said like I'm gonna let you have the last word, and it was like it felt like a gut punch, man. Like,
Yeah.
man, we're just giving up here. Like, we gotta try something else. This is crazy. We can't do this for 2 more weeks. We
No, I
cannot
think
do this for 2 more weeks.
yeah, and it's gonna be hard to keep them separated from each other at this point.
And you did the off camera thing. Like, I don't know, man. I don't know, man.
But it's gonna be interesting. We got to see where this goes in the last 2 weeks.
And they can't because they started with fighting and then they went to promos. So you're gonna go back to fighting now because well, you can't talk no more. We can't do this no more. We
No,
can't verbally
no.
spar at all after this. Not if they're
But
not gonna let her talk.
yeah, we're gonna need them to do promos separately.
Mm-hmm.
Just Tiffany
Unless
do
you
one.
unless you do video packages,
Yeah, that's what I think it's
like
gonna need to be. It's gonna need 1 week you do a Tiffy video package, and then next week you do the Charlotte video package, and then
and then
Mania.
we just go. Yeah,
Don't even put
because
them in
that
the
was
same room
tough.
with each other.
That was tough, man. That was tough to watch. And it was already kind of lackluster, but that took it and like threw it out of the ballpark. Now it's like, oh, y'all might have really scrapped. Like, you know what I mean? That's tough. And if it's not the, even if it's not that bad, like I think of the emotional state Charlotte has to be in after that
Mm-hmm.
to be like, man, like I got a whole new thing I gotta deal with now. After already not feeling like y'all welcome me back with open arms.
Yeah.
Like now I gotta deal with y'all hating me so much y'all won't let me talk. I can't even get off no more. I can't even use it to make you hate me more. Y'all won't let me
Mm-hmm.
talk. I'm even Marie out here. Like, that's crazy, bro.
But that's also not the only thing that's crazy.
Yeah. We gotta get to the favor.
Yeah.
We've been talking for weeks about the favor. What is
Mm-hmm.
the favor? Uh this past Friday we found out what the favor is. And you called it. I think you called it on the pod. So
Mm-hmm.
because you told everybody, you have to present the favor. What is the favor? You have to tell the people.
So for weeks and weeks, everyone has been clamoring. What is said favor? This favor's in my back pocket. What is this favor that I need to use? And Punk, being the genius that he is, picking up some wisdom from his best friend,
Mm,
gets his WrestleMania match, figures out a way to get a main event without cashing in his favor,
mm,
manipulates Roman to even making it a main event of WrestleMania. Roman thinking that's the favor. That's what you want. That's what this is about. Sure, no problem. We could be the main event. Knowing that his ego would only let him be the main event against these two men. Punk just goes, that's not the favor. I'm going to put you out of your comfort zone because in my corner will be my best friend and
mm,
your wise man, Paul Heyman. They
mm.
spoke this into existence over a decade ago. One
But
day, I will walk down the aisle with you and have that moment with you. And now, here we are, 2025. It has come to fruition. CM Punk will be in the main event of WrestleMania with Paul Heyman, walking him down the aisle and being in his corner. God, it's beautiful.
but he wouldn't do that. He loves Roman Reigns.
And then
Clearly he let him down easy. That's
he did not let him down because as Roman said, wise man, let this fool down easy. Tell him no. No, my tribal chief, I can't do it. So he didn't tell him no.
he didn't tell him no. He didn't say yes, but he didn't
Yeah,
say no.
he didn't say yes and he didn't say no. So, I mean, all this does, what I think, is going to make it an interesting 2 weeks. Because now that we know what the favor is,
Mm-hmm.
now the caveat is, what will Paul do?
He's gonna do it, man. He's gonna do it. He's got to do it. He's got to do it. He's
He's
got
going to
to do
honor
it.
his word.
But this is the thing. This is the thing. Now we get to have this fun discussion before we leave the show. Um, what is the match really if Paul Heyman is going down the aisle with CM Punk? Is the match Punk and Roman, or is the match Seth and Punk? Because this is the thing. Seth could not wait to go out there to witness it, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because Seth knows that Roman is biting off more than he can chew because he's been telling everybody we need to stop this guy, and no one has been letting him. So to Seth, this is really about him and Punk.
Mm-hmm.
And for Roman now, this is really about him and Punk. Even though
Mm-hmm.
I thought it was going to be about him and Seth. So I feel like a, a Heyman-less Roman Reigns can score no victory. I feel
But
like Roman sans Heyman is Roman in 2016. He's not winning a big boy match. So now to me, this is Seth Rollins, the architect, that can go up against the brain of Paul Heyman, against CM Punk for the first time in forever with Paul Heyman. And that guy usually can't lose. I think Paul Heyman might be what made him the best in the world.
the favor was for Paul Heyman to be in CM Punk's corner at WrestleMania.
Mm-hmm.
Who says that's going to mean he's on CM Punk's side? He just got to walk him down the aisle and be in his corner.
No,
That don't mean he got to help him.
come on.
I'm just saying it's a way around it. It's the escape route. I just got to walk him down and be in his corner. That don't mean I got to help him.
Mm.
He could just be down there with his friend, and then when the time comes, the wise man does what the wise man does. Now, will that happen? Probably not, but
Right.
it's an escape hatch. It's there
All
if you
right.
need to use it,
All right. We'll talk more about it next week when we do the predictions.
and when we see if he says yes to this favor.
And when we see if he says yes, which I do believe he will. I believe he must, for
Mm-hmm.
Destiny has call on him.
Mm-hmm.
But with all that being said, we've arrived to the end of the show, which of course means it's time for a cheap plug. Down in the
Mm-hmm.
description, you can find the link tree that has the link to all our links. IG, TikTok, Facebook, Dangerous Divers website.com. What else do we have? Do we have anything else? Um, YouTube if you're on YouTube, Spotify if you're on
Mm-hmm. Apple Music.
Spotify, Apple Music. We got all this stuff. We're available everywhere you can listen to podcasts. Um, unless you're like a crazy person listening to podcasts on some app that isn't normally used by the rest of the world. In which case, we hope to be there soon. Um,
Mm-hmm.
like, share, subscribe, leave a comment, tell us how you feel. Follow us on all the stuff, keep up on all the stuff, even hit the notification bell if you want to keep up with the notification. Who knows? It would be cool. With all that being said, I have been Stevie Jobber,
I've been Dangerous Duke.
and this has been the Dangerous Jobbers podcast. Please stay up, stay blessed, and do as always.
Stay dangerous.
People have been asking me to be the best in the world. Why, Eddie? Why?